Notion is powerful, but most people aren't using it to its full potential. These 8 Notion formulas can completely change the way that you track tasks, manage projects, and optimize your workflow. I spent years testing out Notion for productivity and using it to run my entire life and cut down on my daily workload. And through all of that, I found a set of hidden codes and database features that makes Notion work for you. By the end of this video, you'll have a Notion workspace that tracks itself, automatically shows you the type of tasks you're doing, and makes decision-making effortless. So you spend less time organizing and more time getting things done. And no, these won't use Notion automations because they are for paid accounts. All of the stuff today will work for free Notion accounts. Because if you're still tracking every little detail, copying and pasting tasks, or just like manually entering details, then you're wasting time on things that Notion could automate for you. And that is not good for productivity. So in this video, I'll show you how to track time automatically in Notion without any extra effort, a way to instantly categorize tasks without clicking on a single dropdown, the secret to project due date countdowns, a game-changing way to see your work types at a glance, and much more. By the end, you'll have 8 Notion codes / Notion automatic features that will speed up your workflow and make your system work for you. Subscribe for Notion tutorials. Let's get started. So I'll be adding these codes to Basic OS today. This is completely free if you want this template linked in the description. Now, the first code that I recommend adding is scrolling down and clicking on this open in calendar. So if I now add here a task, let's call it task A, and I go back here, you can see task A appears. Now the first code will convert this number here into minutes. So we'll click on the plus property and we will click here on formula. And this here will be the minutes. So I'll paste this code here linked in the description. So this says, show me the date between the date end, so this time here, and the date start, so this time here, and show me that information in minutes. And then I'll click on save. And now as you can see, it says 135 minutes. So this number here is automatically being converted from this. So if I make this longer, let's say like that, and now I click back on task A, as you can see, it says 255 minutes. That's how to convert your Notion calendar into time tracking. I don't know if the next one counts as a code, but I think it does. If you click on the down arrow here and you click on new template, so this is for your tasks, by the way. So we'll click on new template here. You can create a recurring task. How do I feel today? So here's your hypothetical journal entry and you can add all of your questions. If we add an icon to this, let's say write and use this one, what we can do here is have this automatically appear every single day. So if you click on these 3 dots now next to your template, you can actually say how often you want this to repeat. So here you could say you want it to show up every single day, every single weekday, every single week, 2 weeks, month, etc. So if you want to journal every day, it's really as simple as that. That's how to create recurring tasks in Notion. All right, this next code is really useful for knowledge workers. So I'll say here, call John. And then what we're going to do here is click on the plus and we are going to add another formula. So what you'll do is add this code here, once again found in the description, and then I'll click on save. And as you can see, what it's doing is it's telling me automatically, is this a task or is this a meeting? So this code here is basically saying if it's got the word cool in it, then show the words meeting. If not, show the word task. So it doesn't actually have to use the word task here. So if I write report, for example, as you can see, it automatically shows task. But if I write here call Smith, as you can see, it comes up with meeting. This is a really easy way to organize your tasks. And that's how to auto tag the type of task you have. Now, let's say you're like me and you like to do all of your meetings in one go. If you have to call John and you have to call Smith, you don't want to separate these. You don't want to call John, then write the report and then call Smith. So what we're going to do here is right click on time blocking and do duplicate. And we'll call this context. So this tab here will be to avoid context switching. So what I'm going to do here is ensure that I do all my meetings first and then my tasks, or vice versa. So to do that, I'll click on these 3 dots here and we'll use this thing called automatic grouping. So on group here, we can actually say how we want to group these tasks, and this will happen automatically. And we want to do that with this formula here, which I should probably rename. But we'll click on that and I'll rename this then to type, for example. So now you can see my meetings showing up for today and my tasks showing up for today. So these here are being separated. But let's say I want to do my tasks before I do my meetings. Well, we can click on these 3 dots here, click back onto the group here, and we could just use these 6 dots here and drag and drop that above. So we'll just remove the alphabetical group order. So now instead of using time blocking, we can avoid context switching by using this context tab. That's how to automatically group tasks based on their context. Okay, for this page here, let's add a gallery, for example, and this gallery here will be our projects. So I'll create a new database. We'll call this projects here. And one of the things that we need for our project, let's call it project A. What we need here is a due date. When is this actually due? So here I'll write due date and we will say that this is due next week, for example. So I'll look at all my projects here and think, okay, when are they due? When do I have to do them? Instead, what we're going to do is click on this and add a property. And this property, once again, will be a formula. And we'll call this the countdown property. And we will paste this code here, and then I'll click on save. But at a quick glance, I don't know if it's overdue or if it's upcoming. So now with this code, I know this task here is upcoming. It's not overdue. Let's add another one. Let's call it Project B because I have no creativity. And we'll say the due date was 2 days ago. As you can see, it says overdue. So if I click on these three dots now and click on properties and click on countdown, I can see here if it's upcoming or if it's overdue. And that's how to quickly, at a glance, know if your project is upcoming or overdue. Now, if you want this countdown property to say how many days away it is from this due date, then you will paste this code here, again, linked in the description. And as you can see here, it says 6 days. So if I click away now, this one says 6 days. So we have 6 days left to do project A or minus 2 days for project B. In other words, we are very overdue with this project. By the way, if you want both, you can just add the other one back, have that showing as well, of course. And now I can see both at a glance. That's how to add a project countdown in Notion. Now for this next one, let's add some of these tasks here to my calendar. So they're showing up here because they don't have a specific time to them. So I'll just add these to my calendar. And what I'm going to do is click on this plus here and I'll scroll down and once again, we'll add a formula. And what I'll do is add this code here. And it will tell me how many Pomodoros each of these tasks is. So this one here is 0.6, this one 0.6, 4.8, and 10.2. So it's converting my minutes here into Pomodoro sessions. Now, I personally don't love Pomodoro, but I know a lot of you do, so I thought I would include this. That's how to convert your tasks automatically into Pomodoro sessions. But let's say you don't want to know it in Pomodoro sessions, you just kind of want to know it in small, medium, and large. Well, we'll click on the plus here, we'll click on formula here, and we'll add this code here, once again linked in the description. And I'll click on save. And what it's doing is taking this data here and telling me, was this a large task, a small task, or a medium task? So let's say I add a task in here that's half an hour long, let's say presentation. If I go back to Basic OS, you can see presentation sitting in here for 30 minutes, which is a medium task. Again, Basic OS is completely free. You can find it linked in the description. If you want to learn the 2 other ways of time tracking, then click on this video here. Or if you want to see my premium Notion template, then click on this video here. It's got a 5-star rating and over 2,500 users. Click on this video here to check it out. Thanks for watching.